I thought I would be loyal forever. But I think that I'm going to break up with New York City. Cawfee Talk. Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Cawfee Talk with Cannistraci on this beautiful Monday morning. I don't know where your Monday morning is, but it's beautiful here. I'm having a cup of tea this morning, not coffee, with my Cawfee Talk mug, and a cup of wine because it's not in the morning for me anymore. It's the afternoon that I'm coming to you from. So the reason why I have the wine in my hand, I'm going to be very honest with you guys today on this week's episode, is because I'm sort of going through a breakup. Not the breakup that you think. So I think I have spoken very honestly on the podcast about how I've been going out to Los Angeles and I've had shows out there and I keep going back and forth from the East Coast to West Coast. And also the Bronx Barbie Tour has been just about everywhere now, from North Carolina to Chandler, Arizona. I am getting to see so much of the States, so many places that I have never seen before. You know, it's so funny. I always considered myself well-traveled. And I've been to so many different places in Europe, to Africa, Arusha, Tanzania. I literally lived there for like a summer in East Africa. But I guess I haven't seen so much of the United States of America. And I have to be honest, there are some really beautiful parts of our country that I probably, not even probably, most likely would have never seen had I not had the opportunity to because of work. And I'm so grateful for that. However, I have to say, this is going to be hard for me to say, especially to you guys who are listening, because so many of you listen to me because even if you yourself have moved from New York, you listen to me because I remind you of home, and that's why you love listening to the podcast. There is no denying. I mean, I'm on the Bronx Barbie Tour. I am Tara from the Bronx. I was born, grew up here, educated, lived here my entire life, New York. But like anything, you know, and I'm not saying that to me, New York still isn't the greatest city in the world. I'm not denying that. That's my humble opinion. But I always said I make the best decisions when I'm informed. And that comes with any aspect of my life. You know, when it comes to medical decisions or, you know, relationship decisions. And the more I've been exposed to other parts of the country, I do realize, and maybe it's because I'm getting older, because I'll tell you right now, 23-year-old Tara would have fought you in the street if you told her she was ever leaving New York City. You ever talk shit about my boyfriend, which at that time was New York City, we would have had a fight about it. And I still, to this day, get defensive over people who talk smack about New York, because it's still the greatest love of my life. I don't think I would be this funny. I don't think I would have the connection to I know I wouldn't have the connection to so many of you if I didn't come from New York City. It's made me who I am. It's given me my personality. It's given me my strength. It's given me my sense of humor. It's given me my passion. I am everything I am because I grew up in the Bronx, New York. However, I am at a point now, and this, before everybody hits me with the politic thing, I'm not going there. I'm at a point now where I'm going to other states. So I had a show in, just to give you an example. Ooh, Bennetti is going to yell at me. Oh, okay. How funny is this? I went to a place in Chandler, Arizona that was called Mic Drop Comedy, and the mic just dropped. Leave it in if we can be. The mic just fell, if you're just listening to this on Spotify or Apple. But I went to Chandler, Arizona, and I have a really good friend. I consider her one of my best friends. She's one of those friends I met abroad. I met her in Europe, and we connected, and we've always been close through the years. Whether it's something really great or really bad, that's kind of when we speak. It's one of those friendships where I don't speak to her on a day-to-day basis, but I know in a heartbeat, if something wonderful happens to me, she's going to celebrate it as if it was happening to her. And if something bad happened, she's going to mourn it and be there for me as if she's going through it. She's one of those really great friends. And if you're listening to this and you're in Arizona, she owns a salon called Saskia Salon. Check it out. Let's give her a shout out. But she's one of these friends where she always, I don't say she's always happy, but she's got something in her voice. She's got a pep in her step. She's always doing something. She's always smiling. She's always, has energy to do things. And I'm like, damn, we're the same age. And I'm exhausted. Like, I write jokes about how tired I am. I did a joke recently where I go, I'm at the age I only want to do a few things, 3 things, maybe 4 on my husband's birthday. But I just figured it was her personality. And then I got to Chandler, Arizona, and it was February 26th, and it was 74 degrees. And everything, because the weather doesn't ruin it, every part of the streets and the aesthetics of this little city that I had never even heard about before I got booked there was beautiful. And I had the whole day to myself. I got in early and I went to an outdoor mall and I went to get something to eat. And I sat at the hotel outside and then had a glass of wine. And I thought to myself, I'd be happy and have energy to do things if I lived here too. This is why she's so goddamn happy. And I'm not, because it's 23 degrees in New York and it's cold and everybody's bitter. And I land in JFK and I drive through that, on that parkway, and it's dark and gloomy and there's traffic and, it's aesthetically not attractive at all on that ride. And I just had this moment where I was like, yes, New York will always be home, but is it going to be my only home? And I got to be honest, I got a little upset. I think I'm still a little upset about it because I guess like anything else, you say to yourself, wow, what have I been missing out on? And am I one of those crazy people who all of a sudden is shitting on New York when I know it's, to me, I've praised it to be the greatest place on earth? Am I changing? Is it me? Am I going through something? Is this a midlife crisis? Like anybody who would cheat on their spouse maybe at my age, that's not the direction. To me, it's like, oh, I don't want to live here anymore. And guys, I got to be honest, and, don't be mad at me for saying it. It's just something I'm going through maybe. And I'm not going to lie. I don't get the opportunities I feel that should be afforded to me through talent and hard work, not anything that I think should have been given to me. I don't get those opportunities in New York City the way I feel I should. And I'm getting them in other places. And I know this about myself. If I don't feel fulfilled, if I don't feel like I'm really doing something with my craft, or I'm doing something to showcase my talent, or working hard enough to get better, that's going to leave me in a place where it doesn't make a difference how beautiful my home is. It doesn't make a difference how happy my home is. Happiness and home starts with you. And I can't say that New York is where I am my happiest anymore. Now, granted, I am only going to these places for a day or two. Like anything else, there could be a honeymoon stage to what I'm saying. I get that. But I'm starting to plant seeds in other locations to get a feel for, well, what would this look like? And obviously, as a comedian, as an artist, anybody's going to say the next move is LA. And I've been on and off going to LA, and this next year I'm going to be there more on than off to get a feel for it, because I do want to work, and that is the most important thing to me. And let me tell you something, when I go outside and it's 70 degrees and there are things accessible to me that are in a quick drive or walkable distance, that's very appealing. And I've met people in LA. Of course, they're former New Yorkers for the most part. I love that I'm finding thoroughbreds there. Shout out to the owner of Pura Vita. It's a vegan Italian restaurant. I know vegan. I know what my listeners are saying, but pasta is technically vegan. I'm meeting these people and I'm connecting with these people and I'm starting to see what a life could be like, not in New York. Anyway, guys, I'm struggling with it like you would any decision if you were in an unhappy relationship. So the other night, one of my really close friends who lives out of state came into the city and we went to this great restaurant and there was entertainment and then we went to a piano bar after, then we went to a hotel bar after, and it was one of those New York City nights where it was like 2:30 in the morning. We were just leaving. I haven't had one of those nights in so long and I went, wow, they don't have this everywhere. But I don't want to do that every night. And I've got to believe that my quality of life every day should matter more than just an occasional night or two. It's like, why would you cheat on your spouse for a fling when you know that every day really could be good with that other person? I don't want to let my impulses get the best of me. And the same is vice versa when I go to these other places and it's good for a day or two. I get it. But I'm just getting the feeling that although I may always have a home in New York, I don't know if it's where I will spend the majority of my days of my remaining years most of the time. I don't know, guys. It's a thought that I had, not a thought. It's more than a thought, right? It's a feeling, and I'm doing a lot of talking it out. Obviously, the decision in my situation is not all mine, but I do think that I have come to a point. And another comic, a good friend of mine, I had her on the podcast, Adrienne Appalucci, said, "You didn't give New York a chance. You got to give New York another chance." It's like kind of like the good boyfriend. She's like, I really think that if you not start from the bottom again, but start doing things or start immersing myself more in the city clubs and start taking different approaches to things as far as comedy, that I really will truly be happy here. And I guess I just can't visualize it because I can't imagine it because I can't visualize it. And maybe that's true. But right now I'm at a crossroad. So that's why I had wine in my hand today. Venetia tells me I have to drink water after this. It is after noon. So I'm just going to take a sip. But anyway, guys, I wanted to throw that out there because I've been posting videos from Los Angeles, and it's so funny. Some of you get really defensive in the comments. Even if you no longer live here, you're like, get back home, go back to New York. I love the rivalry, guys. I love the passion, right? It's what makes us so charismatic. It's what makes us so appealing to others. It's the attraction people have to New Yorkers, right? It's this passion. It's this drive. But I have to recognize that I am having these feelings. And I think suppressing those feelings could cause a lot of resentment. Suppressing those feelings could cause a lot of anxiety. Suppressing those feelings could really hold me back professionally. And I don't want that. I wouldn't want that for anybody else that I love. And I have to know that I don't want that for myself. Because a lot of times I make sacrifices for other people. We all do. We're guilty of it. Listen, I have a father turning 80 and a mom turning 70 this year. Of course, I'm the only child from my mother. I know the responsibility and the weight of that responsibility is on me. And I do not plan for a second to be negligent or not a good daughter. But at the same time, I still have to do right by me. And it's a conversation, believe it or not, that I had first with my mom. When I called her from, I'll leave you with this. I have this like little balcony off my apartment in LA. And I walked out there one morning, coffee in hands, coffee. And I had a coffee talk with my mother. And I called her and she could sense it, and I said, I'm here. I'm so happy. I'm getting so much done. I feel so good here. I'm seeing a life here. And she just, I guess, to be a good mom, said, Tara, just let me know where I got to go. Because, at the end of the day, you're my life. And it was kind of like she relieved me of it. And I said, well, Mom, it's not going to be within it's not going to be this year. I'm 4 to 5 year plan. And she said, okay, we'll cross that road when we get to it. And I'm grateful that I have that level of support, right? Not a lot of, especially ethnic moms are like, yeah, move. My mother didn't want me to move out. First of all, I'll be very real on this podcast. I went to move out when I was 27 and it was like a sin because my mother said, oh, go back to school, get a second master's, I'll pay for everything. It was like bribery to keep me home at 27 years old. And now all of a sudden she's telling me I can go across the country 3,000 miles away and she'll follow me. So I guess we both have evolved, which is really nice. Guys, I think I needed this talk. My therapist, I haven't had a phone call with her this week. Venetia got the most of it when she walked in the door and I told her I'm doing a podcast on my breakup with New York City, and she is a true New Yorker who's opposed to all of this. She's my ethnic mom that is fighting me on it, but it's how I feel, and I thought maybe people who are listening to the podcast who have left New York maybe kind of understand what I'm going through. And I kind of just wanted to talk it out with you guys because you know what? I do a lot of these podcasts because I think you guys need some of the things I'm saying. But today I needed to say these things. And I love you for letting me talk, especially if you've listened all the way through. Guys, you know that at the end of the day, all I ever really want is to meet you guys, always at a show. I always want to laugh or hear you laugh. So look up my schedule, tarajokes.com. I'm finally in all of the places you wanted me, Chicago, Rhode Island, Philly, Boston. That had to be the biggest requests for those 4 places. And Northern New Jersey, which the tickets are not on sale yet, but I'll shout that out because it's October 3rd and 4th. I'm going to be at Bananas Comedy Club. I'm really excited. They gave me a whole weekend and it's 4 shows. And I know Jersey is going to represent. And guys, at the end of the day, no matter where I live, I will always be representing my fellow New Yorkers, my fellow Italian Americans. I love you guys. Thank you. I'm going to finish that last sip of wine and then go get a water. All right, guys. Have a great day. Coffee Talk.